Have you ever had that one moment where life just feels like it's stuck on repeat? Like every day, you wake up, go through the same routine, scroll through the same social media feeds, chase the same goals, yet somehow nothing really changes. That was me. Exactly 30 days ago, I remember sitting in my room one night, laptop open, half a cup of cold coffee next to me, staring at my to-do list that never seemed to get any shorter. I had goals, big ones. I had vision boards, affirmations, self-help books, you name it. But deep down, I felt this quiet frustration, like I was doing everything right on paper, yet life just wasn't matching the energy I was putting in. It was like watching everyone else move ahead, people manifesting dream jobs, ideal relationships, effortless success, while I was stuck replaying the same year over and over again, just with a new calendar, and that's when it hit me. Maybe I wasn't missing effort. Maybe I was missing alignment. That thought kept echoing in my mind. What if it's not about working harder, but about thinking differently? I didn't know what that meant yet. But I was about to find out that same night, while scrolling through YouTube, you know, the kind of late-night scroll where you're searching for something but don't know what. A video popped up on my feed titled Quantum Manifestation, the Science Behind Creating Your Reality. Now, normally, I would have skipped it. It sounded too woo-woo, too spiritual, too unrealistic. But for some reason, that thumbnail, a glowing brain surrounded by swirling particles, caught my attention. So, I clicked. The speaker talked about something wild, that your thoughts don't just influence your reality. They literally create it. According to quantum theory, everything, you, me, the screen you're watching this on, is made of vibrating energy. And the energy you emit through your emotions and beliefs interacts with the quantum field, the invisible web that connects everything in existence. That field doesn't respond to your words. It responds to your frequency, your inner vibration. The idea sounded insane. How could my thoughts possibly have that much power? But something deep inside me stirred, a mix of disbelief and curiosity. Part of me laughed. Yeah, sure, like I can just think money into my account or vibrate my way into success. But another part of me, the quiet, intuitive part, whispered, what if this is real? What if I've been chasing change in the outside world when the real work starts inside? That question hit differently, because when I looked around my life, I realized I'd been living reactively, waiting for results before I allowed myself to believe, to feel confident, to feel enough. But what if I had it backwards all along? So right then and there, I made a decision. One of those goosebump decisions that just feels like it's pulling you towards something bigger. For the next 30 days, I was going to become my own experiment. No half measures, no skipping days, no doubting halfway through. I would live, breathe, and practice quantum manifestation, like a scientist testing a theory with my life as the laboratory. I didn't know if it would work, but I knew I had nothing to lose, except maybe a few limiting beliefs. I grabbed a notebook and wrote on the first page in big, bold letters, Quantum Manifestation, 30-day experiment. Then underneath, I wrote, if my thoughts truly create my reality, then for 30 days, I will think and feel as if my dream life already exists. Simple, but powerful. That sentence became my mission. I started by listing what I actually wanted, not vague things like happiness or success, but clear, vivid desires. I wrote about the kind of person I wanted to become, confident, calm, abundant, magnetic. I wrote about the lifestyle I wanted to experience, freedom, creativity, purpose, flow. And most importantly, I wrote down how it would feel to already live that life. Because everything I was learning about the quantum field pointed back to one thing. You don't attract what you want, you attract what you are. So, if I wanted my life to change, my energy had to change first. But let's be honest, deciding is the easy part. The real challenge is what happens next. Every morning after that, I woke up with a sense of awareness. I started paying attention to my thoughts. How many of them were rooted in lack, fear, or frustration? It was humbling to realize how often my inner dialogue was the exact opposite of what I said I wanted. I began to see that my outer world was simply a mirror reflecting my inner vibration. And if I wanted the mirror to change, I couldn't just slap affirmations on top of doubt. I had to become the energy I wanted to receive, and here's the part that surprised me. Once I made that commitment, little things started happening. Not massive miracles at first, but subtle shifts. I'd wake up feeling lighter. I'd notice repeating numbers, 1111, 222, showing up everywhere. I'd meet people who shared the same ideas I'd just been thinking about. And I'd get sudden bursts of inspiration that felt guided. It was like reality was responding to me, almost like it was saying, okay, now you're paying attention. So I started documenting everything, every thought, every synchronicity, every strange coincidence that didn't feel random anymore. I wanted proof, not from books or guru, but from experience. And let me tell you, what unfolded over the next 30 days completely shifted my understanding of what's possible. Because once I truly committed to this experiment, life didn't just happen to me anymore. It started happening for me, and what I discovered next shocked me more than I ever expected. Before I could dive deep into the 30-day experiment, I needed to understand what this thing called quantum manifestation really was. Because let's be real, the internet is flooded with buzzwords. Vibrate higher, attract abundance, shift timelines. It sounds good. But what does it actually mean? So I promised myself that before blindly believing, I would dig into the science and the spirituality behind it. And what I found blew my mind. The quantum world, where reality isn't what it seems. Let's start with something simple, the world you see around you. The chair you're sitting on, the screen you're looking at, your hands, your heartbeat. It all looks solid, right? But zoom in, way in, and you'll see that everything is made of atoms. And atoms, they're 99.999% empty space. The particles inside them, electrons, protons, neutrons, are not tiny solid balls. They're energy clouds, vibrating fields of potential. That means everything you see is not as solid as it seems. You, me, your coffee mug, are all made of vibrating energy fields, interacting in this vast invisible web, and that web is what quantum physicists call the quantum field, an infinite sea of potential energy that connects everything in existence. Now here's where it gets weird, magical. In quantum experiments, scientists discovered something called the observer effect. Basically, when particles are observed, they behave differently. When no one is looking, they exist in a state of infinite possibilities, everywhere and nowhere at once. But the moment they are observed, they collapse into a single definite form. In other words, conscious observation changes physical reality. Let that sink in. When consciousness interacts with energy, energy takes form. That's the exact principle behind quantum manifestation. So what does this mean for you and me? If observation changes energy at a subatomic level, then your thoughts, which are also energy, can influence the way your life unfolds. Think of your mind as a broadcasting tower, constantly sending signals into the quantum field. Every thought, every emotion, every belief has a frequency. And the universe, like a mirror, reflects that frequency back to you through your experiences. So when you think, I'm not enough, or nothing ever works out for me, you're broadcasting that signal. And the field responds by giving you more of that reality. But if you shift your thoughts and feelings into a higher vibration, like, I'm confident, I'm aligned, everything always works in my favor, you start sending out a different signal. And the quantum field has no choice but to rearrange itself to match it. It's not magic, it's energy physics. The same way two tuning forks vibrate together when one is struck, your energy tunes reality to your inner frequency. The bridge. Between science and spirituality, now, some people dismiss manifestation because it sounds too mystical. But what's fascinating is that quantum physics and ancient spiritual teachings are saying the same thing, just in different languages. Spiritual teachers have said for thousands of years, as within, so without, you become what you believe. Your thoughts create your world, and now, quantum science is catching up, showing that at the smallest level, energy responds to consciousness. It's like science finally found the technology behind what mystics have been saying all along. So when people talk about raising your vibration, what they really mean is aligning. your energy, your thoughts, emotions, in beliefs, with the frequency of the reality you want to experience. Your mind as a quantum tool. Imagine your mind as a remote control. Each emotion, each belief is a different button that tunes you to a new channel, a new version of reality. If you're tuned to fear, doubt, and scarcity, you'll experience the channel of limitation. If you're tuned to gratitude, confidence, and love, you'll experience the channel of abundance. The signal doesn't care whether you believe in it or not. It just responds to the frequency you emit. So when people say thoughts become in things, it's not metaphorical. It's literal. Because in the quantum world, energy and information are the same thing. And your thoughts are both. The emotional frequency factor. Now here's where most people get it wrong. Manifestation isn't just about thinking positive thoughts, it's about feeling them. Because emotion is energy in motion. It's the amplifier that sends your thoughts into the quantum field with force. If you say, I'm wealthy, but deep down you feel broke, your frequency is still broadcasting lack. But if you can feel wealth, joy, and gratitude even before you see evidence, you've just hacked the code. That's the essence of quantum manifestation. Be it first, and you'll see it later. It's not about wishing. It's about embodying. Not asking for your dream life, but becoming the version of you who already lives it. Rewiring the mind to match the field. Here's something powerful I learned during my research. Your subconscious mind controls about 95% of your reality. It's like the software running in the background, constantly looping old beliefs. I can't, it's hard, I'm unlucky. Quantum manifestation requires you to rewrite that code. To teach your subconscious that a new reality is not only possible, it's inevitable, and the best tools for that. Visualization, repetition, and emotion. Because your brain doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's vividly imagined. When you imagine yourself living your dream with strong emotion, your body starts believing it's already happening. And once your subconscious buys into it, the external world starts mirroring it back. That's when coincidences start happening. That's when people call it luck, but it's not luck, it's alignment. The simple truth behind quantum manifestation, at its core, quantum manifestation is the dance between energy, awareness, and belief. It's the realization that you are not a victim of your circumstances, you are the creator of them. That your thoughts are not random, they are instructions. And that every emotion you feel is a signal telling the universe what to deliver next. Once you understand that, you stop chasing things and start attracting them. Because the external world can only reflect the vibration you hold within. So if you want love, become love. If you want freedom, feel free now. If you want abundance, embody abundance before it arrives. The quantum field doesn't respond to who you wish to be. It responds to who you are being right now. That realization changed everything for me. Because once I understood that reality itself could bend to the vibration I carried, I stopped trying to control the how and started mastering the energy behind it. And that's when the real experiment began. In the next section, I'll show you exactly how I applied these quantum principles every single day for 30 days. And what happened when my energy, thoughts, and emotions finally aligned. Once I understood the theory behind quantum manifestation, that my thoughts, emotions, and beliefs were all broadcasting signals into the quantum field, I knew the real test would be putting it into practice. It's one thing to understand that thoughts create reality. It's another to actually live like it's true. So I made a decision. For 30 days, I would reprogram my mind, not through wishful thinking, but through conscious repetition, visualization, and emotional alignment. I didn't want this to be another feel-good phase that fades after a week. I wanted transformation, so I built a system, a daily structure to train my mind like a muscle. Step 1. Morning. Rewiring my frequency. Every morning before touching my phone, before speaking a single word, I sat in silence. Just me, my breath, and my mind. At first, I used to wake up and instantly think of everything I had to do, the messages I needed to reply to, the tasks waiting for me, the stress I carried from the night before. That was my old vibration. Chaos, worry, rush. Now I made it sacred. I would sit, close my eyes, and ask myself one question. Who am I being today? Not what I'm doing, but who I'm being. Because I realized that identity creates reality. Then I'd picture the version of me I wanted to become. Confident, peaceful, successful, aligned. I'd imagine my ideal day unfolding perfectly, feeling calm, productive, grateful. Not as a fantasy, but as a memory of something that had already happened. And I didn't just see it, I felt it. The warmth in my chest, the sense of pride, the quiet confidence of someone who already made it. I tried to embody that energy right there in my room, even before my day began. And something powerful happened. The more I practiced this, the more my mornings stopped feeling like survival. They started feeling like creation. Step 2, the power of words, quantum affirmations. Throughout the day, I trained myself to become aware of my inner dialogue, and wow, that was eye-opening. You'd be shocked how often your thoughts sabotage you without you realizing. Little things like, this probably won't work. I always mess things up. I'll never afford that. Each of those sentences carries a frequency. And every time we repeat them, we reinforce that vibration into the quantum field. So I flipped the script. Instead of saying, I want, I said, I am. Instead of I'll try, I said, I already am becoming. I am aligned with abundance. I am attracting new opportunities. I am exactly where I need to be. At first it felt fake, like I was lying to myself. But here's what I learned. Your subconscious doesn't care whether something's true or false. It only accepts what you repeatedly tell it. So I kept affirming until the words started to feel real. And when they did, something inside me began to shift. I walked differently. I spoke differently. I vibrated differently. People could feel it. Even strangers responded to me in new ways, with more warmth, more openness, more respect. That's when I realized you don't manifest what you want. You manifest what you believe you deserve. Step 3, letting go. Trusting the quantum field, this was the hardest part, because as humans, we're wired to want proof. We want signs before we believe. But in quantum manifestation, it's the opposite. You have to believe first before any sign shows up. It's like ordering something online. You don't keep reordering it every 5 minutes. You trust it's coming. So every time my old habits tried to creep in, worrying about timing, doubting the process, I reminded myself, the how is not my job. The frequency is. My only job was to stay in alignment, to feel the feelings of already having it. The universe would handle the delivery, and the moment I truly started to trust that, my mind felt lighter. There was no resistance. Just faith, not blind faith, but energetic certainty. That's when the synchronicities started to multiply. Step 4. Evening, gratitude and reflection. Every night before bed, I wrote down 3 things, what I was grateful for that day. Any signs or coincidences I noticed, how I felt emotionally. This wasn't just journaling, it was energetic tracking. The more I looked for signs, the more they appeared. The more I wrote down gratitude, the more I felt it. And gratitude, I realized, is the fastest frequency shifter there is. Because when you're grateful, you're telling the universe, I already have enough. And the universe responds by giving you more reasons to feel that way. By the end of week 1, my journal was full of little things that made me smile. An unexpected compliment, a call from someone I missed, a small financial win. Tiny but meaningful. Proof that something invisible was moving beneath the surface. Step 5, repetition until reprogramming. By week 2, something interesting began to happen. My brain started to automatically think in alignment. I didn't have to force positive thoughts anymore. They started to come naturally. That's when I understood that manifestation isn't an event. It's a frequency you become accustomed to. And once your subconscious adapts, you don't have to try to stay high vibe. It becomes your new normal. That was my goal. To make alignment my default setting, the turning point around day 17, I had a realization that changed the entire experiment. I wasn't manifesting things. I was manifesting states, see? I had been focusing on goals, success, opportunities, results. But the real transformation was emotional. I started waking up happy for no reason. I felt calm even when things didn't go my way. I was living in flow, not force, and that's when I understood. The universe doesn't reward effort, it rewards energy. When I began this experiment, I promised myself one thing: no expectations. No waiting for miracles. Just pure observation. I wanted to see what would happen if I truly lived in the energy of already having everything I wanted. If I fully trusted the process, even when nothing seemed to be changing, and for the first week or so, not much did. At least, not on the surface, but underneath something was happening. Something I could feel before I could see. Like the static before a radio finds a clear signal. Week 1, subtle shifts in energy around day. 7, I noticed something strange, but in a good way. I started waking up lighter. My mind wasn't filled with anxious chatter or mental to-do lists. There was a calmness, a quiet confidence that I couldn't explain. It wasn't that my life suddenly got easier. It was that I was reacting differently. Things that used to bother me, delays, misunderstandings, little frustrations, didn't shake me anymore. Instead of spiraling into worry, I'd pause, breathe, and tell myself, I choose a different frequency. And in that small moment, everything shifted. That became my first real sign. Quantum manifestation wasn't about changing the world around me. It was about changing how I vibrated within it. Week 2, the universe starts whispering by the second week. Things got interesting. I began noticing numbers, repeating patterns everywhere. 11:11 on clocks, 2:22 on receipts, 3:33 on random car plates. At first, I brushed it off as coincidence, but then it kept happening, multiple times a day, every single day, and every time it did, I'd smile and whisper, "Okay, universe, I see you." Because according to quantum theory and many spiritual traditions, synchronicities are signs of energetic alignment. They're like the universe's way of saying, you're tuning in correctly. Keep going, and the more I noticed them, the more they multiplied. It was as if reality was trying to show me that it wasn't separate from me. It was responding to me. Week 2 continued. Random messages. Perfect timing, then came the coincidences. I'd think of an old friend I hadn't spoken to in months, and that same day, they'd message me out of nowhere. I'd write down in my journal, I'm open to unexpected opportunities. And within 48 hours, I'd get an email offering a small freelance project I didn't even apply for. Little things. Yes, but too perfectly timed to ignore. It was like I had tuned into a different frequency of reality, where things flowed instead of forced. And here's what I noticed. The more I trusted and stayed in gratitude, the faster those synchronicities showed up. But the moment I slipped into doubt or impatience, everything would slow down again, like the signal faded. That's when I realized the truth. The universe doesn't respond to words. It responds to vibration. If my energy said, I already have it, life reflected that. If my energy said, where is it? I stayed waiting. Week 3, reality rearranges itself by the third week. It felt like the outer world was catching up to the inner work I'd been doing. Suddenly, conversations started leading to opportunities. Ideas came effortlessly. People appeared at just the right moment, as if they were part of a script I didn't know I was writing. I wasn't chasing anything. Things were finding me. One day I went to a cafe I'd never been to before and sat next to someone who ended up becoming a valuable collaborator for one of my long-term goals. No planning, no effort, just flow. That's when I started to really understand what alignment feels like. It's when you stop pushing and start allowing. The more I surrendered control, the more synchronized life became. It was like the universe was saying, now that you're not trying to control everything, I can finally move things for you. Week 3 continued, emotional transformation, but the biggest shift wasn't external. It was emotional. I began to feel gratitude for everything, not just the good moments, but even the uncomfortable ones. Because I started to sense that every event, big or small, was part of something orchestrated perfectly. When things didn't go my way, I stopped asking, why is this happening to me? And started asking, what energy is this trying to show me? That single question changed everything. Because instead of seeing problems, I started seeing patterns. And once you see a pattern, you can reprogram it. Quantum manifestation isn't about avoiding challenges. It's about mastering your emotional frequency through them. And once you do, you stop being a victim of reality and start being a conscious creator of it. Week 4. The universe gets loud by the final week. It felt like life was playing with me. But in the best way, every day. Something small but meaningful happened. Random people complimented me out of nowhere. Unexpected opportunities came from directions I didn't even imagine. Money flowed more easily, not because I chased it, but because I stopped blocking it with worry. I even started noticing how my energy affected others. When I felt centered, people around me seemed more relaxed. When I radiated gratitude, I got gratitude back. It was like I'd become a magnet, not because I was forcing anything, but because I was finally in tune. And the craziest part? The more aligned I felt, the faster manifestations arrived. It was almost eerie, like reality was reading my thoughts in real time. I'd think about needing something, and within hours it would appear. Parking spots, phone calls, unexpected gifts, all appearing effortlessly. It wasn't about the material things, though. It was the feeling, that quiet, knowing that life was listening, the moment of realization. By day 30, I had a breakthrough. I realized that quantum manifestation isn't about getting things. It's about becoming someone new. Someone who naturally attracts the experiences they once had to chase. When you shift internally, the external world has no choice but to follow. It's not superstition. It's energetic law. The field, this infinite quantum matrix we live in, doesn't respond to begging, forcing, or impatience. It responds to coherence, to alignment, to emotional clarity, and for the first time I felt it in my bones. I wasn't hoping anymore. I knew that knowing, that calm certainty, was more powerful than any material manifestation could ever be. The new reality, by the end of my 30-day journey, the most profound manifestation wasn't the opportunities, the money, or the coincidences. It was the shift in me. I no longer woke up chasing life. I woke up co-creating it. The anxiety that once felt like background noise had quieted. The uncertainty that used to make me overthink had turned into trust. Because when you truly align with your energy, when your thoughts, emotions, and beliefs move in harmony, the universe doesn't just hear you, it becomes you. And that's when I finally understood the secret behind quantum manifestation. It's not about forcing life to give you what you want. It's about raising your vibration so high that life can't help but match it. In the final section, I'll reveal the biggest lessons I learned from this 30-day experiment. The truths that changed how I see reality forever. And the one principle that can turn any dream into your next reality.
When I started this 30-day journey, I thought I was testing a theory. By the end, I realized the theory was testing me. I thought quantum manifestation was about bending the universe. It turned out to be about bending my perception, about remembering that reality was never something out there. It was something I was generating every single moment. Lesson 1. Your mind isn't just thinking thoughts. It's broadcasting frequencies before this experiment. I used to believe thoughts were private, little mental bubbles that floated inside my head. But during those 30 days, I began to feel that every thought was a vibration sent into the field, a ripple in the ocean of energy that connects us all. Whenever I focused on worry or fear, life reflected that exact frequency. Missed calls, closed doors, unexpected delays. But when I shifted my inner channel to gratitude and trust, things opened up effortlessly. People smiled more, chances appeared, time even seemed to stretch in my favor. It's not magic, it's matching. You don't attract what you want, you attract what you are broadcasting. So now, before I react to anything, I ask myself, what frequency am I sending out right now? Because that frequency is tomorrow's experience, already in motion. Lesson 2. Surrender isn't weakness. It's alignment. Halfway through the challenge, I realized I was still trying too hard. I'd visualize, script, repeat affirmations, yet somewhere deep down, I was still saying, please make it happen. That please carried the vibration of lack. Quantum manifestation doesn't work when you're begging the universe to fix you. It works when you remember there's nothing broken. The moment I stopped chasing, everything started chasing me. Opportunities, ideas, money, they began showing up without strain. That's when I understood, surrender isn't giving up, it's getting in tune. When you let go, you don't lose control, You align with a higher intelligence that's been trying to guide you all along. Lesson 3. Reality is a mirror, not a wall. Before, I treated reality like a wall I had to climb, solid, unmoving, separate. But through this experiment, I began to see it more like a mirror, instant feedback, showing me exactly what I'm projecting. If I felt unseen, it wasn't because the world ignored me, it was because I was ignoring myself. If I felt blocked, it was because my energy was resisting change. The mirror never lies, it simply reflects. So instead of trying to fix life, I started adjusting the reflection, my thoughts, my emotions, my self-image. And guess what? The mirror followed. Every time you upgrade your internal world, your external world reconfigures itself to match. That's not philosophy, it's physics, it's coherence, the quantum field, responding to the dominant vibration you hold. Lesson 4. Emotion is the signal that speaks to reality. Words are weak in the quantum realm. You can say, I'm rich, I'm loved, I'm free 1,000 times, but if your emotions vibrate, lack or fear, the field only hears that. Emotion is the real code. So I started practicing emotional embodiment, feeling the reality I desired before it appeared. I'd sit still, close my eyes, and breathe into gratitude, as if what I wanted was already here. Not pretending, but feeling. The first few times, my mind fought it. Why feel grateful for what you don't have? It said. But after a few days, something clicked. I realized that feeling isn't fake, it's the cause. When your body feels the future as now, the field reorganizes matter to match that vibration. Emotion is the Wi-Fi signal between you and the quantum field, and the stronger that signal, the faster your manifestations download. Lesson 5. Identity is the root of creation. Perhaps the most profound discovery of all. You can't manifest a new life while clinging to an old identity. You can visualize success all you want, but if, deep down, you still see yourself as unlucky, unworthy, or unseen, you'll keep attracting experiences that prove it. The quantum field always mirrors who you believe you are. So instead of asking, how do I get what I want? I started asking, who would I be if I already had it? And then I became that person. Not tomorrow, but now. I walked, talked, and made decisions from that energy. That's when life shifted. Because the universe doesn't give you what you wish for, it gives you what you are. Change the story you tell about yourself, and the entire simulation rewrites around you. Lesson 6. Faith is a frequency. There were moments when nothing seemed to move. Days where the old doubts returned, whispering, maybe this doesn't work. But then I realized, faith isn't blind hope. It's holding your vibration steady, even when reality hasn't caught up yet. It's knowing that just because the seed hasn't sprouted, doesn't mean it isn't growing. Faith is the bridge between the unseen and the seen. And in the quantum world, consistency is creation. Reality always lags behind your vibration. So, if you can hold your frequency of belief long enough, the outer world has to synchronize. It's law. Lesson 7. The field responds to love above all. This one surprised me. The more love I felt, genuine, unconditional love for myself, others, even life's chaos, the smoother everything became. Love wasn't just an emotion. It was a stabilizer. When I vibrated love, resistance melted, timing aligned, and energy flowed. It's as if love is the universal password that unlocks every level of manifestation. You can try every technique in the world, affirmations, scripting, visualization, but if your heart is closed, the signal stays scrambled. Open your heart, and reality opens back. Lesson 8. Gratitude is quantum gold every night. I ended my day writing 3 things I was grateful for, even the small stuff. The more I practiced it, the more gratitude became my default frequency, and from that frequency, abundance kept expanding. It wasn't just a thank you list, it was an energy amplifier. Gratitude tells the field, I have enough, and the field replies, then here's more. Gratitude is proof you've already entered the vibration of receiving. The final realization you are the field by the end of the 30 days. Something profound clicked. There is no separation between you and the universe. You're not manifesting reality, you're modulating it. You are the wave and the particle, the dream and the dreamer, the observer and the observed. When you shift within, you shift the whole field around you, because you are the field. And that's the most liberating truth of all. You're not a powerless human hoping for miracles. Your consciousness creating form moment by moment, thought by thought, heartbeat by heartbeat. The outro, my 30-day quantum transformation. So, after 30 days of quantum manifestation, here's what I can say with absolute clarity. The universe doesn't test you, it tunes you. It doesn't punish or reward, it reflects. And it's not waiting to give you signs, it's waiting for you to become one. You don't need to wait for 30 days, or 30 years. You can begin right now. The moment you choose to vibrate from love, gratitude, and certainty, the universe begins rearranging itself to meet you there.